Hey, this is Senator Justin Reedy. We are coming to the end of the second to last full week of the General Assembly session, week 12. Uh, we've had, of course, a real crush of activity like these last final weeks always are. And I just want to give you a real brief update. One positive, I talked last week about the state budget. What happens when the budget passes both houses is there's always differences between the two budgets, and the two houses have a conference committee made up of members of both bodies to work out whatever differences are in the budget or in any other kind of bill. Well, one of the big things missing from the House was funding for the Boost program. It's that fund that helps just a small, but relatively small number of disadvantaged poor children to be able to escape failing schools. And it's basically a program that's like a voucher program. It actually doesn't even come out of education dollars. Technically, it comes out of what's known as the Cigarette Restitution Fund. So unfortunately, though, the House didn't include that money, and they struck the language to allow that to continue being a program, whereas the Senate was fighting to preserve and restore the money that Governor Moore cut in his budget proposal. It seemed like there was going to be a little bit of a standoff because the labor unions, the teachers unions that spend a lot of money electing many of the majority party Democrats down here were spending a great deal of money and effort trying to say, no, cut this program, don't have this for the kids, because it's, they trying to protect the monopoly. Whereas, as you all know, I believe in an all of the above approach to education. I don't believe in one size fits all. I think there's children that are served well in multiple different ways in different kinds of settings. So anyway, long story short, the Senate held firm, and we ended up with a situation where really the bottom line is there's actually going to be a little bit more money going to some of these efforts to help these private schools that are giving choices to kids. The Boost Fund will stay in the budget. The budget is still very fiscally conservative. It would for Maryland, which is good. We're actually spending still about $1 billion less than last year, with significant funds set aside in the rainy day fund. There are some things in the budget that I don't like, of course. It's a budget, and that happens. But overall, it's a positive that we were able to protect. And it was really a bipartisan consensus in the Senate, which was great. We really convinced a lot of our colleagues to stand with us on protecting this fund to help these children. So that was a positive. What I'm watching for, we've had, of course, plenty of negative this session. I'm watching to try to stop other bad things from getting through here at the very end. And this is a time when there's a lot of things still hanging out there that haven't passed yet. Sometimes a bill has passed the Senate and it was a bad bill. It's gotten to the House, but they've made a few changes. It comes back over. There's a lot of different things that can happen at the end. So what I'm trying to do is watch out for some things that I'm really concerned about. One is there's a proposal to try to give Medicaid insurance paid for by state taxpayers to illegal immigrants. I'm completely opposed to that. The Senate passed something that just studied the issue, which I also oppose because I don't need to study it to know we shouldn't do it, but at least it was only a study. I did vote against it, of course, but the House actually has passed over something that would actually have Medicaid dollars, taxpayer dollars fund illegal immigrant health insurance. I don't believe that is something we should do with our state's tax dollars. So I'm watching to see. I'm hoping we can keep that bill from passing and defeat it. Right now, we're doing our best to hold that up. There's also a bill that came over from the House on it's known as the Healthcare Framework Bill. It's a bill that was pushed by the head of the Maryland State Department of Education, the superintendent, and it basically is a pretty far-reaching and destructive bill that would require every county to adopt the same exact healthcare framework for health education. And it includes teaching sort of radical gender theory and other things that are not appropriate to kids as young as kindergarten through third grade. That's something that I don't support. And I also don't think you want to put mandatory curriculum in state law anyway. So that needs to be something that's worked out between the State Board of Education and the local boards of education, not something that is mandated in state law. So that bill is right now, it passed the House, but it's being held up in the Senate for now. We'll see what happens. That's what I'm watching very closely. And then finally, the other thing I'm watching for that I've been really disappointed this session, because I actually thought we were going to make progress and time is running short, is tangible action on crime. The General Assembly's rushed to pass all kinds of bills to support social programs to try to help people that are getting out of jail, or try to help people from going to jail. And by the way, some of that stuff may not be all bad, but again and again, the General Assembly is also passing things that they're reducing sentencing, or they're trying to pass things that are reducing sentencing, or making it harder for police to do their job, and not giving the prosecutors the tools that they need. We have great common sense, bipartisan proposals about dealing with repeat violent offenders, people who carry, people who know they should not be having a gun, that are known as prohibited persons, meaning they're somebody who's committed a crime. We've got a bill to try to make it a stronger penalty if you're caught carrying a gun illegally that way. We've got a bill, my bill, to make theft of a handgun a felony, and none of those bills really have moved. And it's really disappointing. We're going to continue pushing till the very end because we need to take action. With the surge in crime that continues, we need to take action. The time is now. So those are just a few things I'm watching here as we head into the final full week. Plus, we'll have Monday, the 10th of April, which will be a long, full day all the way to midnight. I'll do my best to keep you posted next week. And thank you very much. Hope to hear from you and any thoughts or concerns that you have. Have a good weekend.